Got a lot of stuff to talk about. Some Cam, some Odell Beckham, some Aaron Rodgers. Let's start with it. I started the show. I said, if the ingredients for the cake are right, even if you burn it the first time, you'll get it right. It's all about the ingredients. Don't be paralyzed by the result. There's 3-0 teams in the NFL I don't love. The Cowboys got blown out. I love them. I'm watching Dak last night. I really like him, Tony. I mean, never overwhelmed. I love this kid.
Yeah.
And I don't think he has the best arm. And I don't think he has Russell Wilson's feet. But there's something there. I trust him in spots.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got that maturity about him. And I told you last year, I was the captain for the Pro Bowl team, so I had a chance to spend some time with him. And he asked questions. You know, he's not like that young guy who's saying, oh, this and that, I know everything. He's curious. He asks questions. And my biggest takeaway from this game, the way he played last night, is the way he responded from the way he played last week. The 2 interceptions that he threw last week, where he only had 4 interceptions all of last year, did not play well. And to me, greatness is defined by how you react, how you play after you play that bad game, which is going to happen every once in a while. The older you get, the less it happens. But when you're younger coming up, you're going to have those horrible games. And let's see how you respond. And the way he did, he adjusted his game. He put everything on the line, put his body on the line, diving over the goal line, almost looked like he was going to hurt his neck. I loved everything about him. And this is another thing, too. The 2 targets that he had to Dez Bryant. The first 2 weeks of the season, he was, for whatever reason, was trying to force feed Dez Bryant, and it wasn't working. And now he made that adjustment. Only 2 targets, 2 catches, a touchdown, big play. He got back to being that Dak Prescott like we saw last year. And I think the Cowboys have an unbelievable quarterback for their future for the next 10, 12 years.
And by the way, so, like Matt Ryan, you know him well. He didn't have a gun. Matt Stafford does. I think sometimes with quarterbacks, we think there's one way to be a franchise quarterback. Like, to me, his feet and arm, the combination, they're both B. Russell's feet are A. Aaron's arm is A. Like, there's more than one way. Like, when I look at Dak, this is a weird thing. Like, when I look at professional athletes, are you overwhelmed in the moment? I never feel Dak is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a dude.
Yeah.
Like, I feel that.
And that's what is going to make him that great player. You don't have to. He does everything really well. I don't know if there's one thing about him that you say, wow, that's what does Tom Brady do? What does he overwhelm you with? His brain. His brain. That's what is making him so great. And that's what I think a guy like this can be.
All right. Going to hold you over. Tony Gonzalez. We got into this late. 14-time Pro Bowler. Thoughts on OBJ. Cam Newton now. Players taking shots at Cam Newton. That's next. This is The Herd in Los Angeles.
Tech, college football and Fox and FS1. Every game is everything.
Great to have you back with TrueCar. Get upfront pricing, certified dealers, new or used. Try TrueCar.com for a more confident car buying experience. 14-time All-Pro, our friend Fox NFL analyst Tony Gonzalez. So when Cam came into this league, he was the first or second running quarterback. And this league, Tony, you were in it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's always been a pocket quarterback league. Mm-hmm. We had Steve Young ran around, Fran Tarkenton, but by and large, even those guys were great pocket passers. Then we had RG3, and then we had Tebow, and then we had Cam, and then we had all these guys come into the league, and for about an hour, the league fell in love with it. But now RG3 didn't work, Tebow didn't work, Cap's deteriorated as a player, and now Cam Newton, we're coming to terms with, what's Cam care about? So listen to this, Tony. This is Cam Jordan of the Saints. Yeah. Cam was revered about 2 years ago in this league. Mm-hmm. He was. I mean,
MVP.
And not only MVP, but I think among players, he was Superman.
He was. I played against him twice a year, obviously in the same division out there, NFC South, and unstoppable. Unstoppable. Literally, every time we played against him, if it's third and short, they're picking it up because he's going to get with his legs or his arm.
Listen to Cam Jordan this weekend. He says, there was a time Cam scooted off for 13 yards. It was very Cam-esque. Anytime he tried to scoot out, we showed up on his high heels. Not that he wears high heels. I mean, I don't think so yet, right? I mean, he's gone with the grandma hat and the onesie. Oh, the romper. We romped him. That is, Tony, that is players moving on. And I don't think he speaks just for Cam Jordan. Am I wrong? There's a little move off Cam.
Yeah. First of all, that's awfully funny. One thing, like this play you're showing right here with Cam Newton, he scoots for the first down. I think that's the 13-yard scoot.
Trailing.
And then the next play, he throws the pick. Now, This is something where I have a problem with the whole showboating. And one thing, I'll take it a step further. One thing that scares me about a guy like Cam, scares me about a guy like Odell Beckham, is that these guys, they're more worried about being entertainers than being football players. And to me, if you have to keep football at the top, that has to be the most important thing.
By a mile.
It's not about your outfit, your hat, and your dyed tips on the goatee, the romper, all that stuff. I just really wish that these guys, I hope they understand what is making you who you are as a player, why people like you. It isn't about what you wear. It's not about that hat. It isn't about the hair, Odell. It's because of the plays you make on the field. So and I'm not saying you can't do that. Please do that if that's what you want to do. But make sure you keep football at the top, because that is what's going to take you to everywhere you want to go. You want to be an icon? Go catch footballs. Go throw touchdowns. Go run for touchdowns. That is what's going to make you an icon.
Here's an interesting thing you said in the break, and I thought this was really interesting. The people who are icons didn't set out to be icons. Mm-hmm. They just became them. Cam Newton said when he came into this league, listen to this quote. This is from Peter King. He was 21 years old. Mm-hmm. He goes, I see myself not only as a football player, but as an icon and an entertainer. He played junior college and 1 year of college football. Mm-hmm. So he set out to be an icon. Michael Jordan just became one.
Yeah, Michael Jordan became one. Tom Brady became one. Peyton Manning, you become that. You go out there and you keep grinding year in and year out, and you keep pushing the boundaries as a player for your craft and all that other stuff. That's my last speech that I ever made to my football team, was the night before we played against Cam Newton in the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, this was your last game?
Year 17. I spoke to the team the night before my last game.
Oh, I want to hear this.
And so one of the things that I told them is that you see me before practice. You see me catch 100 balls before practice. You see me during practice catch around 100 balls. You see me stay after practice. When everybody goes in, I'll catch another 100 balls, whatever it is. And the reason I do this is because football is at the top. You don't have to chase success when you have that great routine. And when you keep football at the top, success will come find you. You don't have to look at it. There's no more pressure for me. I don't have pressure when I played, because I knew that my routine and my focus would take me to everything else that I wanted. The money, if I wanted to be popular, if I wanted a platform for charities, if I wanted to walk to the front of the club, so, and people recognize me, if people like that too.
Yeah.
If I'm single and I want to be the ladies' man or whatever it is, guess what? That football and that routine is going to take you. Don't worry about that stuff, because that stuff will come. And I feel like some of these players, like Odell peeing and him wearing his nice outfit, trying to be this icon, they lose focus. That takes you off of your game plan, and it's not a good thing. It does not lead to success.
Okay, so Aaron Rodgers, you are just crazy. You just think he is, I don't know where to go with this. So your opinion is on Aaron Rodgers?
I think you can make an argument that he is the greatest quarterback to ever play this game. I think Aaron Rodgers, with his legs, with his brain, he's a Cal Berkeley guy. We went to the game this weekend.
He's very smart. All you smart guys go to Cal.
I just, the way he is, the way he calls his shots, the confidence that he has and the work ethic. Last year, when he said, we're going to run the table, and people, I'm sure you were laughing about it or saying, whatever.
He did it, Babe Ruth. He called his shot.
How come no? I feel like it's underplayed. Like, we don't play it up enough. Maybe because he didn't win the champ, but he went to the NFC Championship game on a team that everybody wrote off, including myself, the year before, when he tells everybody to just relax. He calls his shots. I love this guy, because for every aspect, what is his weakness now? Tell me something that he could work on in his game that he's not very good at.
No, this is an interesting discussion, Tony, because too often in sports, we align championships with great. If you want to talk titles, Bill Russell had 11, Jordan only had 6, so he's the best player. Mm-hmm. Charles Barkley didn't have any. I think he's better than Bill Russell. The reality, this is where I'll really defend your statement in Aaron Rodgers. He's been given one great defense, and he won a title. And we too often in sports, and I'm guilty of this, we rank you based on, listen, I think Troy Aikman's one of the best I've ever seen. Jimmy Johnson, in my opinion, maybe the best coach in NFL history. He had 4 Pro Bowlers on offense, Hall of Fame receiver, back. When Troy didn't have that, his first year in the league, he got pummeled.
Mm-hmm.
And so much of football is what is around you. Tony, you never had Matt Ryan was the first quarterback you played with that was a Pro Bowl quarterback. Mm. You never complained about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if you had Brady? Have you ever thought about that?
Don't even get me started calling about national television right now. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, you are who you're surrounded by.
Of course.
And I look at Warren Moon. Now, this goes on. Dan Marino. There's a lot of guys out there that had these amazing careers, but it's always like, what if? And I think a good example of that is Randy Moss. Randy Moss was written out of the league when he went to the Raiders and wasn't playing that well. You put him with a Hall of Fame quarterback in Tom Brady, legendary stats. Legendary stuff came out of Randy Moss and Tom Brady. They made each other better. So, I always look at myself and say, okay, what if I was with Drew Brees or Tom Brady my whole career? What could have happened? But it didn't happen, and I feel like I did pretty well anyway. But as far as Aaron Rodgers, if Aaron Rodgers was with the New England Patriots
and has been given those offensive lines, those free agents, I think he's probably got 4 Super Bowls.
I think so, too.
I think you can make the argument, and I think it's a completely fair one. He is the most talented person. I would put John Elway second. That Aaron Rodgers, along with John Elway, is the single most talented person to ever play quarterback. I think that's completely, absolutely fair.
And I'm talking to Greg Jennings, but speaking on the show a little bit, how much fun is it to play with a guy like this, too? Because he's not just that pocket passer, which he can do legendary. Yeah. He could go to the Hall of Fame by just standing in the pocket. But when he gets outside of that pocket and the play breaks down, that's when the fun starts, too, as a receiver, as a tight end. That's